What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JD, aka Mr. December, and we are back with another video. Man, listen. So it's been a lot of talk in these YouTube and social media streets about my boy, Bishop Noel Jones, finally proposing to his on again, off again, long term girlfriend, Miss Loretta. So a lot of people have been talking about this, and some have asked my opinion. So I decided to weigh in on it, and I think that I have a little bit of a different perspective coming from a pastor who has been divorced, and just coming from a standpoint of a preacher and a pastor in general. So, first of all, who is Noel Jones? So, Noel Jones, he is a Jamaican American apostolic bishop. I believe he's a part of the PAW, Pentecostal Affirmation, I believe. And Noel Jones is now 72 years old, and he is the pastor of the City of Refuge in California. Now, let me point out that, like I said, Bishop Noel Jones is divorced. So, having been a preacher and divorced, you have a little bit of reluctancy to get married again, because you don't want to go through the same things, or you don't want to put anybody else through the same thing. So I kind of wanted to weigh in and give my perspective on it. But before we get into the actual video where he was proposing, I want to bring up this clip and kind of put in perspective of what he's thinking as far as marriage and divorce and getting with somebody again in the future. And I think that it might change some people's perspective a little bit, or give you something else to think about. So here we go. Check it out.
I believe that for whatever reason you divorce, you have to repent. And I have had to repent. And I don't know if that's one of the things that's way in the back of my mind, sort of subconsciously keeping me from taking a step forward because of how I was taught. But at the end of the day, I made a vow.
So what he means is how he was taught. He was raised up very, very conservatively, and his parents were really, really strict, very Pentecostal. And when you're raised like that, like if you get married, divorce is absolutely out of the question. Like no matter what the circumstance. So that's in the back of his mind. That's what he's saying, and he's already been divorced once and had to repent. So how he was raised plays a big part in it. But let's keep going.
I made a vow for better or for worse. And when you consider you making a vow for better or for worse, who defines what worse is? And since I have been divorced and have dealt with people in various situations of their own lives, I have found that what I decided to divorce about, or what broke us up, was minuscule compared to what other people went through.
Now, that was something that I found very deep and profound. Who defines better or for worse? Your worst might be different than somebody else's worst. What you're able to deal with might be a little different from what somebody else deals with. And he admits that whatever they divorced about was, minute or whatever. But let's keep going.
And if I were to give you an anecdote, one of my problems is, and I really ruined my marriage in the name of God. And if you want a lesson, I'd give you a lesson. I am very ebullient, very intense about what I do, because I believe you can't be as good as you ought to be, and you can't be the best that you can be if you're not very, very intense about this job. And there's no question in my mind that I am very intense. I was totally out of balance, still am, as it relates to preaching. And
so listen, just from experience, it takes a lot to be able to find that balance when You have a family and a church to deal with. And a lot of people don't understand that pressure. But this is something that I commend Bishop Jones on, because everybody won't be this transparent. But, kudos to him. Big up to Noel Jones for being transparent. Let's keep going.
And I ruined my marriage in the name of God because she was oftentimes upset. We argued every time I had to leave. And I was the last person who was picked up at the airport when I got back. When I got off the plane in Little Longview, Texas, they were closing the airport by the time she came to get me. I was standing with my bags. And I was completely indignant because I figured she's driving a 500 SEL, and who wants to get off a plane and not have somebody to greet him? But what I failed to understand was that she didn't want me to go, so why should she hurry up to pick me up? And we were arguing all the time when I had to leave. I mean, I was so out of balance. Church on Sunday, Bible class on Monday, gone until Saturday and sometimes even Sunday morning. What I fail to understand as a novice is that there is a very thin line or a very difficult distinction between the signatures of frustration and anger. Oftentimes, anger is simply frustration. And I said, well, I was a preacher when you met me. So how in the world, if the doors are opening, you will not allow me to go? And we have to have these vicious debates when I'm going to do what God has called me to do. But what I failed to understand was she did not marry a profession. She married a person. And
I got to stop it right here. Do y'all hear what he's saying? He's opening up about how he ruined his first marriage in the name of God. I've heard people and preachers and pastors say, especially when I first started out, never sacrifice your family on the altar of ministry. And that's something that, I try to always remember to do, because you have to have some kind of balance. But this is the side that nobody wants to talk about. So, like I said, Noel Jones, he's a very deep thinker, very intellectual, philosophical, very deep brother. Shout out to him. But let's keep going.
And so now my word to anybody who wants to take from this lesson is that each preacher must understand the significance of ministering to his own wife. And a pastor's wife, should never ever feel like she's got to compete with the church or the ministry.
Wow, that's deep. That is deep. And I think that that's one thing that we get wrong a lot of the times as preachers and pastors. But I mean, like I said, shout out to Noel Jones for just being transparent and just opening up about that. I mean, because once you hear him talk about that, you kind of understand why he was a little bit reluctant to get into another marriage. But at the same time, it don't take 28 years. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it don't take 28 years. But a lot of people have had a lot to say about the situation, and I want to give my thoughts on it as well. But now I want to bring up this infamous proposal. Let's check it out.
I decided that I'm gonna get married. And when it was rumored some time ago that I was getting married, I remember saying to you that I've been with you for 20-something years, then, not 28 like it is now.
28 years. On again, off again relationship. Yo, they've been together for almost, people have been married that long. and they've been on again, off again. And I want y'all to kind of keep in mind what we watched first. At the same time, while I rock with Noel Jones, you know, it's no excuse for that. I mean, and shout out for Miss Loretta, man, for sticking around that long. Because I don't know that many women that would have. I know these days a lot of people like to date with intention, right? Or at least that's what we talk about over here in spaces like these, to date with intention. And 28 years does not seem like you're dating with the intention of getting married. So let's keep going.
It was about 24. No, it was about, yeah, it don't matter. But I told you that I wouldn't. We've held hands every Sunday. We're related to each other every Sunday. And I told you that I would not sneak off somewhere and get married and let you find out on the side. So I'm telling you today, security, I'm telling you today that I'm gonna get married.
All right, let me just stop it right here. Keep in mind that Bishop Noel Jones is now 72 years old. Yeah, I said it, 72 years old. Let's keep going.
Loretta, come up here, please. Should I? I thought about, should I give up my freedom coat for a straitjacket?
He's talking about giving up his freedom, man. Look, at 72 years old, that should be the least of your worries. You know what I'm saying? Loretta's smiling though, so let's keep going.
I thought about, should I, at my age, get married to someone way younger than me? I thought about, should I give up not having to answer to anybody? If I'm in Africa and I wanted to go to Europe, if I wanted to leave Europe and go to Asia, to Japan, I wouldn't have to call anybody.
All right, y'all see the look on her face right now? Y'all see the look on her face right now? It went from a smile to Now this is kind of where it starts taking a nosedive, right? It sounds like that he is suggesting that to be with Miss Loretta, he is going to be giving up a lot. And when he says it the way that he's saying it now, who would be excited about that? I wouldn't. I would have went and sat back down. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody is telling me I got to give up all of this, X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third, whoop, to be with you, I would say maybe you shouldn't be with me then. I mean, come on, this is where it takes a turn for the worse, but let's keep going.
Talking about, should I have somebody censoring who comes to my house? I don't like him. She sure can't come.
Y'all see her face? Miss Loretta is the queen of the fake smile.
I'm talking about, should I have to give up my Ferrari, buy a station wagon, and then when I looked at her, I said, well, should you have to push a wheelchair when I can't walk? Don't go so fast, slow down. Should you have to deal with an old man when you could have many suitors who are so young? Should you have to be listening to a man who's intoxicated with the exuberance of his own verbosity? Should you have to deal with somebody who is set in his ways? After I thought about all the shoulds, I decided that if I keep on thinking about should, then I won't get this thing done. So I need you to give me some help here.
Took him long enough. And this is what got people even more upset. The fact that he pulled the ring out of a Cracker Jack box. Look, I don't know if he was joking. I don't know if he was trolling. I don't know if he's going to give her another ring or whatever later, but I'm going to stop it right there. If you have not seen the whole video, look it up on YouTube and go watch it. You know, that's borderline disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Joke or not. You gonna make this woman wait all this time, and she waited, right? Now you're 72 years old, and you're gonna give her a ring out of a Cracker Jack box in front of God and everybody. Whether or not you have some past traumas that you're dealing with, or maybe have not dealt with, this is not what's up. So hopefully it was a joke. Hopefully he'll get her something else, something more that what she deserves or whatever. But let me know what you think, y'all. It's your boy JD, aka Mr. December. I kind of get why Noel Jones was reluctant, but there's no excuse for waiting around that long and then giving the lady a ring out of a Cracker Jack box.